You're watching SMN-BC.
Welcome, citizens of Stick-Mon and their surrounding states, to tonight's presidential debate. Our candidates will discuss their plans for the economy, city growth, laws, and the future of the nation. Each candidate will have a chance to respond. Introducing tonight's candidates, Hayden Killmeyer, Sam McFarland, and Jackson Lambert. Starting Jackson Lambert, why should the citizens of Stick-Mon vote for you as president?
Yes, thank you, Smitty. I think the citizens should vote for me as the president because I have lots of great ideas and systems that will benefit the city a lot, not only overriding the current systems and just making it funner for people, but make it easier for small businesses to grow and to thrive in the city of Stickmon and any other cities.
That was a really good response, Jackson.
Thank you.
Why should the citizens of Stickmon vote for you as president, Sam McFarland?
Why should I be voted for? Because Stickmon needs foundation. Right now, our world's running off of grinding and guesswork. And if you're on enough and you're working hard and you figured out the systems, you're fine. But for everyone else, especially our new citizens, there's no clear path for upward mobility. There's no structure and there's no way to grow and gain some wealth as a citizen beyond farming, mining. That's not an economy, that's stagnation. And that's going to limit our economy as a nation. What I'm offering is simple and principle, an economy where money has real value, businesses can grow, and jobs are going to exist beyond just grinding out and doing what everyone else is doing. A citizen can rise on merit and not just how much they're doing. And you're going to hear words throughout the night, stuff like banking or markets, and it's going to sound whatever, but it's going to be better for our citizens.
That's a really good response, Sam. Hayden Killmeyer, why should the citizens vote for you as president?
5 years. 5 years I have experience living in the city. I own a business in South Stickmon, a very successful one, and I have lived amongst the people for a very long time. I know exactly what they want and what they need.
Very interesting. Jackson Lambert, how will your presidency directly benefit the country and the individual cities?
Sorry, could you restate the question, please?
How will your presidency directly benefit Stickmon and their surrounding states?
Yeah, so me as a president, like I've stated before, making the systems. Right now, we currently do not have a police force or a fire department, and there's a lot of jobs and a lot of different systems that we don't have that could not only provide more fun, but it would ultimately just allow people to make businesses because the current systems that it is now, properties are not moving, they're just being bought and then abandoned. And the way my system will work, the economy will flow better, allowing people, it'll make it funner for the economy. Allow people to use their ideas and not just have to work a 9-to-5 job at the local Cluck and Hen because they don't know what to do.
Follow-up question. How will the long-time citizens benefit? For example, if let's say Sam, somehow his business looks abandoned, and you somehow fix it up and resell the business, what would happen to him?
Currently, in the way that would work is, since it is a active business, the way that would work, he would get probably violations if it's becoming an eyesore or it's violating any of the current property violations. And over a certain period of time, 2 to 3 months, probably, it would probably get taken from him, probably seized, and probably reposted on the market. But obviously, it didn't take him that long to come back. But now that he is, and his business is currently still open, and now is thriving again.
Sam McFarland. How will your presidency directly benefit the Stick-Mon and her surrounding states?
So when people ask how my presidency is going to benefit this country, the honest answer is pretty simple. I'm just focused on building foundations that are going to pay dividends after I'm done with my presidency. Right now, Stick-Mon works, but it works very narrowly. All of our citizens grind hard, they the edge, and they do well. Others don't. Most never get past farming, mining, or selling the same goods that everyone else does. And it's not a lack of effort, it's more just a lack of structure. My presidency benefits the country in 3 concrete ways. So first is going to be a stronger, more stable economy. Right now, we don't know what our currency is. Prices are arbitrary for our citizens. Money comes from nowhere, and the value is based on guesswork. I want to fix that, not with any price controls, not with any heavy rules. Using a central banking framework, banks owned by actual citizens, and other systems to stabilize the economy so that money actually means something. When money has meaning, people invest in businesses, they trade, and they build instead of hoarding their wealth or exploiting others. Secondly, more ways for people to make money in our country. It's not about paperwork. I'd like to implement systems that would help citizens gain more. What citizens would get instead is an opportunity. Banks that can loan money so businesses grow. Jobs beyond grinding. Bankers, builders, investors, accountants. A future stock market that lets the citizen earn on dividends they receive. That's how wealth will spread naturally amongst us through opportunity, not handouts. And thirdly, long-term, in-depth, that's going to keep their country running. The simple systems can burn out fast, and everyone here knows that. People stick around for worlds with the depth and the progression and meaning that we have, that we're trying to build. By expanding our economy and the education infrastructure, building up our roads, highlighting trade routes, and schools, we give citizens reasons to stay, specialize, and build a legacy within the world. And I'll be clear about this. I'm not guessing at any of what I've said. I study finance. I study economics. I know how these systems work, and more importantly, how to simplify them so that they're fun and easy for all of our citizens. I've been working with the administration currently on legal and economic frameworks to support this. It's not a promise. It's already in motion. I'm not running because I want power or say. I want to do it because when it's done, I'll happily step away.
So, Sam, do you think this would just benefit the new citizens or the long-term citizens too?
Oh, I mean, it's going to benefit our new citizens and our other citizens, our older citizens, because now these people who have wealth, like Sam or Lambert or other folks who've been in our country for a long time, they're now going to have this avenue to invest in small businesses or make more money or have more properties. I mean, one of the biggest things we've talked about, Lambert touched on it, is we have a lot of dead property. I mean, dead property is one of the things that plagues, and if we can fix that through maybe small implementations as, property taxes per se, right? It sounds like a scary word, but it's really not. All you do is you keep it super small, honestly, just so that our citizens actually are in which we live in, so that we can actually have a economy that is robust and interactive. The citizen can move about. So that's one of the ways I can think of that. Like Lambert with his new business. Sam, Wild Sam, will be able to invest in his and receive dividends based on them. Thank you.
That's very nice to hear, Sam. Hayden, how will your presidency... Oh, Hayden, how will your presidency directly benefit Stick-Mon and her surrounding states? And how will your plans keep the country active and growing?
So Byron kind of touched on it. Major problem with Stick-Mon right now is the hoarding of land, and I believe taxes will prevent that from happening further, and also that taxes will eventually lead to properties being removed from inactive and returned to the government, and being properly sold to people and citizens who would actually use said properties. Now, the taxes gained from this revenue would be would be moved towards judges, which have currently no pay right now at all, which is insane. That would encourage cases to move forward, as there is a huge backlog of cases right now. Also, there is a lot of destruction in the city from prior terrorism acts. And using that money, I want to create government loans for new citizens to fulfill and hopefully repair the city, and also put a little bit of money back in the pockets of the people. I also want to enact mayors as well. I want government elected mayors to better control taxes and laws within certain cities, wherever they may be.
Well, that's very interesting, Hayden. Mr. Lambert, what have you already done to benefit Stick-Mon and your surrounding states?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Mr. Lambert, what have you already done to benefit Stick-Mon and her surrounding states?
Benefit in which way?
Like, stuff for the community. Have you taken any action? Have you, for example, maybe taken down old abandoned buildings?
Yes, I've currently made a mentorship that I do every day. I get at least one new person that's never, and I will walk through jobs for kind of give them a full 4 hours of my attention, so they can thrive inside the country. And I've also been doing my job as a citizen to buy out. I've been trying to help with the whole property management issue, with like buying abandoned properties, and then I'll fix them up, make them look really nice, and then sell them to small business owners that want to open their own businesses, or just, people who want properties or houses like that. And I've also been supporting the smaller businesses like the Golden Dragon or Crispy Creeper, some of the newer businesses that are trying to start up by, buying their products, or, helping them build inside, interior-wise, just stuff like that. But yeah, I've been trying to build a connection with each and every citizen and try to help out with small business I can. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Sam, what have you already done to benefit Stick-Mon and her surrounding states?
Yes, sir. That's actually the reason I'm standing here tonight. I've already been doing a lot of work. First, I've been in this country since its inception. I did go on a hiatus for a while seeking education so that I'm able to come back and help more. But what I've helped do is build a legal foundation, one that we're standing on right now. Served as an attorney in this nation, I've prosecuted and defended cases. I've advised on contracts and property disputes and business dealings. And I've tried to help formalize how courts and arbitration and legal precedent work within our country. Now, these aren't things that aren't going to make headlines, but it created some order underlying. Secondly, I've been working with our administration currently for economic work. Long before this election, not just in theory, but in practice, we've drafted business registration frameworks, banking rules, accounting and reporting standards, discussed actual systems and infrastructures needed to make this economy work without micromanagement. And I have also been working on building trade routes and ways that we can allow citizens and our businesses to have price benchmarks. A project that I've recently been working on is a commodity exchange, working with bare basic materials provide to our business owners that they can trade at a fair price and for ease without having to go to 5 different people to get those things. And they can have it at one central exchange, and they can actually see a visible price, no more guessing, and it's done by demand and supply and demand.
That sounds like very helpful. Mr. Hayden, what have you already done to benefit Stick-Mon and your surrounding states?
So yes, I've given tours to new citizens. I've helped them on their feet. I sell food for cheap. Anybody to purchase. I currently also own a construction business, helping build up the world and South Stick-Mon as a whole.
Well, all of your guys' responses sound very interesting. Now on to economy and jobs. Mr. Lambert, What is your plan to strengthen the country's economy?
I think to strengthen the economy, we need to figure out how to deal with all of the monopolies and all the systems for items right now, because for the past couple weeks or months, there's been a massive monopoly for various rare items, and just there's been lots of problems with the monies. People's been able to glitch and, money launder and stuff like that. So we need to figure out how we can make that. We just need to figure out how to make the economy better, right? We need to just figure out how to. There's lots of different options. There's a lot of different paths we could take on fixing the economy. I think the best way is to learn from the citizens and just do the best that we can to make that work.
Well, have you done anything to strengthen Stick-Mon's economy yet?
Yeah, I've been trying to provide jobs and providing different sources of incomes like loans, and just trying to stop monopolies by dividing out different stuff like, certain items. I run a local resale business, and we just try to do the best to divide out that kind of rare structure, but it's lots of. I can't do much as a citizen, but I always try to do my best to help with that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Sam, what is your plan to strengthen the country's economy?
Yeah, so right now our economy functions, but it doesn't grow. Our money comes out of nowhere. All of our prices. I mean, you can go to one shop and a block of dirt is this, and a block of dirt is this. I mean, it's not feasible to actually work business that way. The only reliable way to get ahead is grinding longer than everyone else or already being rich. I mean, that's not a healthy economy. That's going to be stagnation with winners and losers in from the start. My plan is very simple in principle. Make money mean something and make it easier for our citizens. And it starts with these three foundations. First, we need stability. We need a finite, trackable money supply so that value actually exists within our country. That means a central monetary framework, no price controls, but to stop the chaos. When our citizens know what money and what items are worth, and they can see these things, trade increases and investment becomes possible. Second is expand through automation. Our citizens are worried about paperwork, and the truth is opposite. Systems can do most of this work. Banking, shop transactions, interest and reporting. Players and citizens will not fill these out. They play. The automation is necessary because it's the same infrastructure that our stock markets and businesses can rely on to raise capital and grow. And then the thirdly would be our opportunity. Strong economy isn't just farming, mining. Banks, insurers, investors, contractors, builders, these are jobs. Jobs significantly lacking. When players can access this credit, these investments, employment and money move instead of sitting in vaults of these wealthy individuals. Lambert talked about monopolies. These avenues in which I'm talking about allows for to distribute that wealth to other citizens who are going to therefore make money, grow their own businesses while being advantageous to our other. And why it would make the money is because it doesn't punish success, it's going to multiply it. Big players still win by being smart, but now they can invest and they don't just hoard what they have. New players are going to have ladders like jobs, wages, loans, and ownership paths. Right now, wealth pools at our top, and we want it circulating because money circulating makes everyone richer. And I'm the only candidate who's been working with our current administration to design systems that would actually work with these backgrounds of finance and economics. I know what works, and I know what's going to break, and I'm trying to figure out how to simplify it for our citizens.
That's very interesting, Sam. Hayden, what is your plan to strengthen the country's economy?
So right now, honestly, I believe our economy is in a pretty strong spot. However, there is a huge influx of items coming in that are illegal, should not be here. I believe we need a huge crackdown as they are destroying business as we speak. Now, I want judges on my side. I want police force on my side. I want to knock these guys out of the park. They gotta prison times have to increase for these kind of actions. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm offering the contestants a 5-minute break, so you're welcome to go get water, maybe get a snack, and we'll be back.
Hello, sir. I got a table right here for you. And here is the menu, sir.
Can I have Uncle Luke's famous baked potato?
Yes, sir. Here is your food, sir.
Yummy.
Come on down to Uncle Luke's butter baked potatoes. The best prices and the best potatoes.
This is my shop, and I saw a bunch of fish. Hello, people of South Stick-Mon. My name's Jewel, and if you are looking for a job or the best lawyers in town, we got it for you. Let me explain. If you're looking for a job, what we need are secretary, associates, and paralegals. Trust me, it pays good. If you need a lawyer, we got this for you. We got the best lawyers in town, and we never lose. That's our motto. We never lose. Thing is, make sure it's a winnable case. For the rest, have a nice day, and hope y'all come by. I'll meet you in the office.
We are back, guys, and we'll continue with the debate. Lambert, how do you feel about the taxes in the government?
Well, currently, the only tax system I've used was the gambling blackjack system, which I believe is a really bad problem because the way I think taxes, they should have been chosen more carefully, because when you add one tax to something and not to other things, it just kind of messes up the whole system. I believe we should implement a tax system that helps out the economy. For example, the taxes would, property taxes, right? When someone owns a property, they get taxed on it. And if they don't pay the taxes, it piles up. So if you're not going to do something with your property, or you're going to abandon it, you're not going to want to have it anymore, either forcing you to sell it or to try to make profit or do something off of it, which then encourages them not to stay abandoned, and also moves it out, because if, once the taxes pile up, then they just get seized and then they're resold, put back on the market, resold, eBay, whatever. But yeah, that helps the flow of the market, helps just the economy overall too, and it also kind of evens out the entire market too for certain like foods and materials too as well. And those funds collected from the taxes would also be put into direct funds to help repair buildings and build new buildings and just, help out the economy. So all the taxes aren't just going to random people who have roles in the government. They're actually going back into funds that go to benefit the server, whether it's repairing buildings or it's building new buildings or it's just helping out the country. Thank you.
Well, that was a very good thing. Sam, do you support taxes? If so, how will they work?
So I'm not anti-tax and I'm not pro-tax for the sake of it. Pro-functioning government. So right now we don't really have any taxes in America. We have money appearing from nowhere and disappearing from nowhere. That's not freedom, and that's not a free market. It's just noise. In a real economy, in a healthy economy, taxes serve one purpose: to fund our shared systems and allow for everyone to make more money. So roads, travel, infrastructure, school, public services, economic stability doesn't appear magically. Someone's got to pay for the other. So the important part here is I'm not in favor of arbitrary taxation on our citizens for just existing. I'm not interested in nickeling and diming folks who are grinding out. What I support is targeted, minimal, and very transparent taxation, primarily on business activity, profit not effort, and systems that already generate for the economy. Why? because this money is going to get recycled back into the
Really?
funding development, contracts, jobs, infrastructure that all these citizens are going to earn more than they paid in. And this is where people get worried about it. Paperwork or bureaucracy, the fear of it being misplaced. And the reality is that the systems that I plan to implement, our citizens won't be worried about this. They won't be calculating percentages or any of this jazz. The system is already going to be able to do this. And we're just going to be using that information intelligently and doing what needs to be done for our country. And that automation is what's going to be necessary. It's going to be the same foundation that everything else in this country will work on. The stock markets, the investments, where businesses want to raise capital, investors need to know what companies are doing. You need a clean and reliable data, not red tape. And that's how wealth is going to scale. Without this structure, our big players hoard their wealth. Players never see a dime of it again, and new citizens have no path upward. The economy is going to stagnate. So with this, businesses can grow faster, jobs expand, things around the city get fixed. Capital moves instead of sitting idle. As for the government, I really don't believe in a big intrusive government. Beard mentioned something earlier that I love, and it's the mayors. I'm a firm believer in someone from the big town isn't going to be able to tell you Essex. They don't know what Essex needs, so I like that. I'm not big from big government. I believe in competent ones. A government that understands that systems that they're managing sets them up correctly and then gets out of the way and let the economy move. My goal isn't to rule the economy, it's to build a foundation, make it stable, make it fair for our citizens, and let them thrive on their own terms without government or Uncle Sam reaching in their pocket. And that's how you create real freedom, a real market. Not pretending systems don't exist, but by building them well and letting our citizens use them.
Hayden, what will tax money be used for in Stick-Mon and her surrounding states?
So yeah, taxes I believe are fantastic. I know a lot of citizens are currently a little scared of the word, but it's for the best, right? Taxes are going to be used to fund judges to help move cases along. Taxes would also go along to producing contracts for construction workers and newer citizens to help fix up and repair the city. That'd be all.
Well, okay. Lambert, how do you feel about the enforcement Stick-Mon has in place in punishments?
I think the enforcements are really bad. For example, if you murder somebody, you get about approximately 5 minutes in jail. I feel like that's very bad because somebody could really just wait for 5 minutes and then cause the same crime again. If, recently the terrorist attacks by Luke, he was allowed bail, which I do not think that should have happened. Terrorist is a very major crime. And I just think that it should be different. I think you should serve actual sentences. I think the biggest problem here is the courts are not happening, and that's why they aren't getting sentences. So I think taxes will help move those court cases along, like Beard stated. Thank you.
Interesting. Hayden, what punishments do you think should exist for breaking laws?
Absolutely, more jail time. It seems like criminals are coming out too soon. They're not getting enough. It's like a slap on the wrist. It's not enough punishment. I believe more punishment for those guilty of said crimes. Also, a lot of the criminals are just not being persecuted at all, with judges not pursuing cases.
Sam.
So
how will you prevent abuse of power?
So, define abuse of power in what context? Are we talking about citizens committing crimes, or?
How will you just prevent the abuse of people making unfair laws and the punishments you get?
Oh, in reality, we just need good checks and balances and transparency. In reality, I believe that we have We have some great judges already in our country, and if they are able to serve as that basis of foundation on law, and then we use our mayors as our legislative body that would be representatives from each state, creating that checks and balances to work with the leaders at bay at the moment to make them work together, and so that none of them have anything over the. Now, when it comes to laws in terms of crime, I think enforcement should be realistic and proportional and focused on what's actually going to matter in our country. If we're being honest, murder and all of these things happen a lot. Damages are negligible, and most people keep the money. So treating it as something that doesn't make sense. It needs to make the citizen better. So in my view, we should not over-criminalize our citizens for interacting. What that does, strict enforcement, all it's going to do is drive people away. We want people to interact with our economy and with our world. So I think, honestly, tying a lot of these things, instead of heavy-handed policing, I believe economic enforcement or even access to certain things would help drive.
Well, sorry to
If a
interrupt
player
you,
knows-
Sam, but that is all the time we have. We are going to take a commercial break and we'll be back very soon.
In the heart of the city, there's a place where flavor comes first. A place built on tradition, care, and quality. At Oriental Gardens, every dish is crafted with purpose, led by head chef Amigo, where it brings passion and experience to every meal. From family dinners to quiet nights out, every visit feels special. Fresh ingredients, bold flavors, served with care. Oriental Gardens, where tradition meets taste, now open.
Hello, and welcome to Dreamdale. And welcome to Marmota Runes and Reels. Are you hungry? Well, come by and eat some yummy foods in Dreamdale. Have you ever been to the arcade? Well, guess what? Our store is located right next to the arcade. Oh, did I not mention we sell random stuff? Yeah, ask for a block, and Marmot will check if he has it. He will then make a deal with you.
Hello? Hello? Don't forget about me, Master.
Oh, right. I can't forget about you. Welcome to Marmota Runes and Reels Dexter Edition. Welcome to Dexter. We have expanded our company to Dexter, and so far, we like it. And you'll soon be able to buy stuff there too. We have lots of sand, and currently that's about it. But whenever Marmot gets the time, this shop will be ready for all of you. Enjoy.
Welcome. We are back from our commercial break and we'll be moving on to the rapid fire questions. Each candidate will be able to ask one other candidate one question and they have to debate about it. Starting off, Mr. Lambert. Make sure to answer briefly and you may start.
You would like me to ask a question to debate?
Yeah, you can ask any one of their candidates.
Okay. Hayden, I would like to ask, for your systems on how the taxes will work, please elaborate more on that.
So they're going to be based off of size of property, but I will give a lot of discretion towards mayors.
So
based on let's say for Dexter example, right? Dexter property taxes are going to be a lot lower than South Stick-Mon, considering most of the population, poor population anyways, was in Dexter. But of course, it'll be up to the mayors. I'll give them that ability to change that.
Yes, and the taxes, so they, like, where do they go? Like, what are they being put into?
Yep. So, one, for paying judges, because they require it, you know. Why would they do cases if they're not getting paid, right? What's the... Right. But if we pay them per case, then you move stuff along. Also, I want to make government contracts to give that, maybe have certain like stipulations requiring that they hire so many people, new citizens, say, to help them along with that, and then they'll get that money for it. That'll the economy, help spread the money around.
Okay, perfect. And other than the taxes, how do you think we can move the properties around? Oh, I'm so sorry. How do you think we can move the properties around?
So yeah, like actually you were saying earlier, with property taxes, if you have accumulated and you don't have it off, it'll simply go back to the state. Also, I believe that after elected, I'll have so many months given in advance for all the citizens of South Stick-Mon and Dexter, saying that, hey, if you have a property, you need to register with the government, and if not, it goes back to us. So it might be sold to an actual citizen that might be used.
Perfect.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Sam, answer or ask one question to one of your fellow candidates and make sure to answer briefly.
Okay. I'm going to open this up to Lambert. What do you think is the biggest problem that we're facing in our economy? What do you think the citizens are struggling with as a new citizen?
Luke.
I think the biggest struggle is what is there to come back to? What is the enjoyment after I've done the same repetitive job over and over? How am I supposed to grow a business without having, how am I supposed to have a business without, all of them are bought up, right? You got to go to all the way to another section of the city just to get a property. Like, there's plenty of properties open. There's just, not available because, and that's why this tax system and this property would move. I think implementing better job systems. I have lots of job ideas. They're not repetitive. There's different things to do for the jobs, and just the more variety of the jobs, the more variety there is for the people. I think there's just limited jobs that are continuously repetitive, which is why people do the job for an hour and maybe quit and never join it back. There needs to be how do I put this? Not repetitiveness. There needs to be a fluctuancy of just uniqueness. Just different. Differentially. You know what I mean?
Well said.
Okay, Mr. Hayden.
Yeah, this one
may ask one candidate one question. Make sure that they answer briefly.
Yeah, so Sam McFarland, do you have any concrete plans you want to implement as soon as you become president, or if?
Oh, yeah, of course. The one thing I'm working on is to implement this commodity exchange and also have a central banking system in order to back up our current. Currently, it's too arbitrary.
You said you wanted something to back. Sorry to cut you off, but you said you wanted something to back the economy. What do you plan on having backed?
Truthfully, a finite supply. I mean, right now, money is coming into counterfeit money is coming into our economy left and right. I mean, for instance, you get fined and it puts them into debt, but that money goes somewhere, and we have nowhere and no clue where it is. That is the truth. So that's the thing. To be able to have that transparency and to have that backed by something we can physically see. We know how much money is in our economy at any given point in time, which we don't right now. We don't. And money comes in and out too frequently.
If I may ask more specifically, what do you specifically plan to back the economy? That was the original question. What do you have planned?
Well, we already have something that is backing the economy, but it doesn't do anything. Gold. In truth, what gives something value is scarcity. And when we don't have scarcity, when we don't have a finite supply, what we have right now is infinite. So why is it valuable? Creating a finite supply of something already implies and makes something valuable. So if we're able to use, say, that gold standard that we already have, but actually limit our money supply to actually stay within the confines of that, then that's going to work. I noticed that we have $8 million in our when I was last looking. So going with that, with the gold, we standardize that. However, the money in the world fluctuates too frequently. I mean, we had $1 million lawsuit on a citizen a couple weeks ago, and he was put into debt. But that money got paid out to the government. And that was $1 million that entered our economy right there through that. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by when
wait. Sorry to interrupt you. But
no, I was done.
I was done. Sorry. What would you do if, let's say, someone rich as Wild Sam he's a millionaire. So what would you do if he isn't joining this? What would you do with his money?
So when we talk about that as well, when we have, obviously the systems I'm trying to implement are going to allow people to have a citizen-run bank. Currently, right now, what we have is a government-run bank who is failing to keep track of our currency supply, failing to keep it to our gold standard that we already have in place, and players are not keeping up with their money. So when we're talking about, we have the citizen-run bank, then what he's going to do is the deposits he's made after a defined period of time, let's say 1 year after a citizen doesn't interact in the country, maybe his assets can be reclaimed. Or maybe it's a slow dribble. So maybe, like, say, after 1 year, half is taken away due to circumstances in life that he can't control. Don't take away everything. I mean, it's an idea that living, and we can approach with an administration around me and around y'all look into these ideas. Because they're issues. And so taxes work that way, but also the depositors. If that money just dies, then that's a way to come back in.
Thank you.
Follow up?
Okay. We are done with the debate questions. Would any of you candidates, any of you guys like to ask, or would you guys like to have one final statement and why your leadership is the best for the future of Stick-Mon and her surrounding states? Starting with Lambert.
Yes, I think I would be a better candidate because I've been building my systems for the past month or so. I have lots of different... My systems have variations, kinds of systems inside of the systems, but I am ready to implement systems as soon as I become president, meaning as soon as I become president, we will for sure have stuff continuously flowing as soon. So we can have properties being, stuff will be implemented, and it will overall just help a ton. Thank you.
So if you're asking why to vote for me, it's because I'm here to just serve the people. And even if you don't vote for me, I hope to serve in some aspect, or I have the knowledge to implement the foundations for citizens to actually have the ability to do anything that they want. And I want to streamline that with my presidency. That is what I aim to do, is be able to streamline all the systems that I have in my mind and work with other citizens, administrators. Hopefully these people will be a part of my cabinet and serve in some type of way. That is what I would want. I want to work together with the greatest minds and the strongest minds to build Stick-Mon a better future.
Well, now, Hayden, do you have a final statement?
I do. I think I am the by far most experienced candidate. I have the most concrete ideas about what we should do if I am elected, and I have worked closely with the citizens of South Stick-Mon by far. That'd be all.
Well, it was nice hearing all of your debates, candidates.
Yes, thank you. I had a very good time.
I believe that all of you are very qualified to be president, and I wish you well.